everyone, it's Sue. How are you going? I want to just have a bit of a play around today with some coffee dyed card. I sell this coffee dyed card in my shop. You can find the link to the website down below. And I saw on Instagram a photo of, I think it was Mrs. Scraps. Let me just have a quick look. Yes, it was Natalie from Mrs. Scraps. So MRS_Scraps. And I saw just a snippet of a photo, and it just made me thinking that to make some lovely little pockets or pouches for our journals. And I've got this brown baking paper, and I just love how things look through it. So it's not an acetate, it's not like a vellum, it's quite thin, so I'm hoping it will withstand what I'm wanting to make. But I just thought that might be really nice to make something with that. So that's what I'm going to do today. So basically I'm going to grab a sheet of the lace coffee dyed card, and I'm going to cut it in half, and that's the size I'm going to make the pocket, I think. I just need to work out how wide this is. So it's just under 16, oh no, it's just under 11 inches. So about 5.5 inches, we'll cut that. So we'll do that now, and we'll be able to make 2 pockets. So let's just do that. One's going to be a little bit narrower than the other, I think, by a fraction, but that's okay. Now let me just think. I need to have a think about it, because am I going to pin it into a journal, or am I going to actually glue the back of it, which I think I might glue the back of it. So therefore I want this to be seen. I want to be able to see this print through here. So this is going to be the inside, and this will be glued to a page. So I'll probably just glue 3 sides and then use the back of it as a pocket. So what I'm thinking is this is going to act as the front of the pocket, and then I'm going to fold this down as the closure. Is that what I'm going to do? I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, so this now stands at 8 1/4, 8.5. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and just, it doesn't really matter, just fold a piece down just as a closure. I feel that looks really crooked, but it could be just the coffee dyed image that's making it look crooked. Let me just have a look. Oh, it's a fraction, like 0.5 millimeter crooked, but I think it's just the way that it's printed that looks a bit off. All right, so I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to fold this one down a little bit as well, and it's about 1.5 inches. Okay, so that's going to act as our flap so that we can get into the pocket. Now what I'm going to do is I want to just cut a piece of this brown baking paper, and I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here, so bear with me as I think what I'm going to do. So I want to sew this, obviously, because I sew everything. So I think what I'm going to do is I need to put a divot in here just so it's easier. I'm not going to take the baking paper right up to the top. Okay, so that will close and you won't be able to see that. And I'm going to put a divot just so that we're not, because this isn't real thick, I just don't want it to get torn easily. So I think what I need to do is put a divot in that to start with. And I'm just going to do it approximately, and I can line that up. Okay, And that's what I thought. So with your baking paper, because it's only fairly thin, you'll need a scrap of something underneath for your punch to go through. So I've just got a scrap of card here beside me. So I'm just going to go back in and punch that, and that punches it quite easily then. Okay, so I'm not going to do the divot on the other one just at this stage, so I'm just going to line that up so that the divot shows pretty much in the middle. This will all make sense once it all comes together. I hope it does anyway. And I'm just from about 1/2 inch down from this fold here, I'm going to just glue around 3 sides, and then I'm going to place this on top. So this is just basically to secure it in place for when I go to sew it. So I want to try and get this divot halfway in between here. So if I put it about there, and once again, if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. And we're just going to squash that down so that it adheres. And then we'll trim that off. Okay, so that's what that looks like. And as I said, I'm going to sew around all of this. I'm going to decorate this. I'm going to put a document closure, I think. And what I'm thinking is I might put another tab coming up here to close it. And it could act as another pocket as well. I think that's what I want to do. All right, so what did I say this was? It's about 1.5 inches. About 1.5 inches. So I need another strip the same width as this and about 2 inches wide, because I'm going to tuck it underneath. So just see if I've got some scrap card here. Okay, I didn't have any scrap card, but I think I'll just use this. So I need to cut it the same width. So I'm just going to make a pencil mark here. Everything just fell down. So I need it about that wide, and about 2. We might do 2¼ inch strip, I think. That way it gives us enough to tuck underneath the bottom side. So I'll go 2¼ . I'm cutting everything so crooked today. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit less than 2¼ . And then we'll cut this here. Okay. All right, so I want to score this at 1.5 inches. So we're just going to score that as best I can. And that's what I'm thinking, is that will go on the bottom there. And I'm going to use a document closure, so we could even tuck something under there if we wanted to. And then this will be glued down 3 sides onto our page. Okay, so I may as well do this one while I'm going. I just need to make sure that it's going to be wide enough Yep, perfect. And then 1.5 inches again. So I'm going to just trim the corners off there, just because I'm going to be gluing that to the back and we don't see any bits. Actually need to trim that off a little bit on this side, but what I'll do is I'll glue this down first because I'm going to sew it all. Let me have a think about that. Yes, so I can glue that and then I can sew it all as one piece, so that's okay. I'm going to glue that to the back now. Lining that up on the sides, and then I'm just gluing that to the back. Okay, I just need to trim this off. Oops, got that really, really crooked. Okay, so make sure, guys, make sure that we have it on the fold, not like what I just did and have it completely crooked. So we need to, we've got glue everywhere. This is becoming a bit of a disaster. It wouldn't be one of my videos without that, would it? So we want to put it up to the crease without going over to this, not gluing onto this side, because we need this side to flip, if that makes sense. So we'll try that again. Okay, and then I just need to do a little bit of trimming, not much, probably even, can't even really tell. It's just a fraction on each end. Okay. Okay, so does that make sense? We're going to use this as put document round bits, I don't know what they're called, clasps there, and string, and close that as well. And then we have, my glue hasn't stuck very well with the baking paper either, so then we have the little pocket to put some bits and pieces in there. All right, so what I might go and do is I'll add the baking paper to this and this flap to the bottom of this one as well, and then I'm going to go and sew around them all, and then I'll come back and we'll put the document closures on there. And I also think I'm going to round these corners. So I'll do that, I'll go and do all of that, and then I'll be back. All right, I have sewn around all of those. I'm going to leave my threads hanging, but I'll just trim off the longer bits. So you can see, let me just grab a card or something. I've got this photo of Roland here at the moment, so the idea is I want to be able to see whatever's in the pocket here. That's cute. And now I'm going to do some punch out some circles and do a document closure. So then we can also then add, once the document closure is done, we can even add some bits and pieces in there and hold them in place, and then that will go on, be glued onto a page. So you can glue the whole lot. I'm thinking maybe glue 3 sides, and then you can add another pocket at the back. So I'm liking how it's looking. Now I'm going to also distress my edges and ink them. So you probably don't want to watch me do that, so I'll just speed the video up again and do that. All right, so I've inked all those. Now I want to make some closures. So I'm just going to use a 1 inch. I'm going to cut a 1 inch round and just see size wise. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to cut. So I need 4, 2 on each, and then this is pretty thick cardstock, so I only need 2 of them to put together. But then I might put 1 underneath here just to close the brad or the eyelet, to cover the brad or the eyelet that I put there, I think. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Maths isn't real good today. 1, so I need to do 12. 1, okay, so I've got 12. I'm going to glue 2 together. I think I'm going to have like the grungy bits showing. So I'm going to glue 2 together for each top and bottom. So I'll just do that. So that's all of those done. These ones I'm keeping because I'm going to add these with brads on this side, and these will just glue over the top to hide the prongs so they don't get caught on anything. So I'm just going to pop them to the side. I'll actually will ink around the edge, and I will ink around the edge of each of the others as well. And I'm just going to grab some brads and some string so that we can close these little pockets up. Okay, I have grabbed my brads and some baker's twine. I think I'm going to keep it pretty neutral because I'm just not sure what I'm going to be using, which journal I'm going to be using this in. And I mean, these can be decorated with tags and all sorts of bits and pieces. But for today, I'm going to keep them pretty plain, I think, because as I said, I'm just not sure. I just wanted to make these and get them out of my head, basically. So I'm just having a look. That hole's probably a little bit too big, so I'm just going to get my piercing tool, if I can find that as well. I've tidied up and I've put everything away and now I can't find anything. So in these, I've done these document closures before, and I've just done a video recently of them as well, but this is the way that I do them. Just need to find approximately the center of that circle, and the same on all of them. So I'm just going to use the one to get, it's not even the center. Doesn't matter if it's not perfectly central. So I'm just going to put a hole in there with my piercing tool just so that I can put the brads through there. Okay. Alrighty. Now I'm just going to eyeball it once again. You can measure it perfectly if you want to. And you can make these closures smaller circles as well if you want to. You can do them in different colors. Different colors probably would be even nice, but as I said, I'm not sure what I'm actually going to put in these for color and that type of thing. So what I want to do is I'm going to open this up and I want to make a hole in this flap, in each of these flaps. So I'm just sort of eyeballing it and making it a little hole where I want it to go, and I'm trying to line this one up with that one as well. Okay, so I've just made a little hole and I'm going to put my piercing tool through there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on the other one. So flip it over this way. I'm going to just put it in approximately the center. And try and line this one up here as well. I can't see where I've done that hole there now. There. Okie doke. So we've got those. Now we want to put some brads in there. I'm thinking we might do actually these might be fun just for something different. These are like flathead screwdriver heads, whatever you call them, and I think there's Phillips heads there as well somewhere. Might have used them all. No, there's a Phillips head. So let's use that one. And then on the other one we'll do the flat. Just for something different. Okay, so I'm just going to put the brads through that hole, which probably I could have used since I'm using a bigger brad, not that one. I've got a little hole punch here that's not as big as your standard size, so it does that size. And that might make it easier to put these in, which it does. So I'll go back through and I'll punch those holes in there. And we're not opening the prongs just at the moment. I'll just go through and punch all these. And then we have to do the flaps as well. All right. So that just makes it easier to put the prongs through because they're a bigger brad. And you can see that brads aren't perfectly in the center of that circle. Once upon a time that would have bothered me, but it doesn't anymore. So we flatten that out and just push that down and put the other one in as well. Squash them down, and we will come, so that's why I did the extra rounds here. So we're going to come in and we're going to glue that on there just to cover the prongs, because we're going to use this as a closure, but just to slip things in there. We don't want the tags or whatever we're putting in under here to get caught on those prongs. So what I'll do is I'll do the tie first, and don't know, I think I just want to keep it fairly neutral. That's quite thick. I might even use this one with a little bit of a silver fleck through it. So I'm just going to slide the jute or the twine, whatever it is that you're using, underneath, and I tie that off quite firmly. Because this is a fairly fine twine, I'm going to tie that off twice, and then I'm just going to bring it up to the top and tie it off again. So you've got no worries about your fibre going anywhere. And then I just trim that off and wrap that around a couple of times just so that it hides that little tail, okay? And then, so you can see how this is going to work. This is going to close this. Okay, so I'm just trying to, I don't cut it off until I've worked out how much I want. So that's probably, oh, let's do it one more time. It's not gonna hurt. And then we just cut that off. Okay, so there we have our little pocket. So I'm just going to open that up again because we need to glue those other circles down on the back. So I'll do that while, and then they can sit and adhere. I might have to actually add some clips to it after the video just to make sure they stay adhered. So I'm just adding extra in the glue in the middle just so that it sticks over those prongs. This is probably a little bit of overkill, but I've got a clamp here, so we'll just, it's only going to clamp one side anyway. We'll just do that for the moment and glue this one down. one's stuck down really well. Okay, we'll just do that, and then we're going to move on and we'll tie this one off as well. Looks pretty good. Okay, so let's just pop that to the side. And what have we got? So I might just use these couple of tags that I had before to put in the front, and we'll put something in here just to make it look pretty. So I've just got, these are too big. If I just fold that over, just to give you an idea of what you can see through this baking paper. So you can put your bits and pieces in the pocket, and then you can see what is in there. Okay, so like that. Obviously you can fit more in there, and then these we can just put in here like so. And then these little flaps just go down and just hold all that in place. How cute's that? So, I mean, there is a little bit of thickness to it depending on what you put in here. You don't have to put that many tags, or I've got a little bit of dimension going on with those tags. And then my thought is that I would glue the 3 sides and then have a pocket at the back. Now that might not be necessary to do that because you've got enough storage space in these pockets here. I haven't caught that thread properly there. And then that will just go on a journal page. So I have a journal here that I'm working on. Okay, so you need to make sure that you get, so maybe even at the beginning of your signature. So that will just stick on there like that. Open up your journal and you've got that there. Okay, so you can make these any size. You can make them smaller, you can make them taller. You wouldn't want to go any wider because they're not going to fit in, well, depending on the size of the journal that you're making, obviously. So this big Kathy Holden one that I'm supposed to be working on, this would fit in here beautifully, like that. So yeah, just to give you an idea. I mean, you could even use it as a journal topper on the front of a journal if you wanted to. So just open that up and take these out, and then you can access whatever else you've got in the middle of those. So I don't know, just something a little bit different. And I love that. I'm just in love with that brown baking paper at the moment. So I'll just close this up and then I'll probably leave it with you guys. Sunday here today, and I'm trying to smash out a few videos because I'm going away next weekend, and I normally like to try and have a Sunday as my video day. So next weekend I won't be able to do that, which means I need to be getting more videos done today. So this one is all nice and glued down as well. So I'll do this up. This one I'm going to do on a like crisscross, which I think looks even better. Okay. And so there you have one that is empty with nothing in it, but you get the idea of how that, and of course once that's glued down, that'll sit down a lot flatter. All right, I'll leave it with you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you all for your support. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love you to subscribe. And if you liked the video, give me a like or pop me a comment in the comment section. I really appreciate that. I love to hear your thoughts and to see that you're enjoying my videos. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that and hope you get to have a little bit of play. And in the meantime, take care, and I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. See you soon. Bye-bye.